Well, insomnia is, before COVID-19, is and was the most common sleep disorder worldwide. We know that approximately 16% of all countries, regardless of their latitude, geographical area, religion, habits, and exposure to sun, it's strange that we know that everywhere there's a sort of a bottom line prevalence of chronic insomnia, which ranges between 9 and 16%. What we have seen after COVID-19 is that this percentage is growing, and this disorder is becoming, the complaint of poor sleep or of sleep of poor quality is becoming, unfortunately, a more diffused and widespread phenomenon. So the burden was already heavy, and now it's heavier after this long period of a health emergency. This is one thing. Now, the burden is not only because people are complaining of sleeping awfully during the night, not satisfied about their restful nights, but now we know that insomnia is a 24-hour problem. So you're not only having a disturbance during the nocturnal hours, but you're also having reduced attention, poor concentration, headache, and sometimes also fatigue, and more dangerously also excessive daytime sleepiness, which can be another burden of the burden. So you have a sort of multiplication of what's going on. So people are really, because there are people who say, well, I don't sleep very well, but during the day I can manage my duties and my engagements. To be a real insomnia, you have to have problems both during the night and during the daytime functions. So it's a 24-hour problem. So the burden is really becoming a heavy problem to manage. Then there's another problem, that insomnia is not only something that is confined to the sleep or sleepiness or vigilance problems, but the domain of insomnia is spreading also to other clinical consequences. So it's known, but this is famous in the past decades. We know that if you're a poor sleeper, you can also have problems concerning psychiatric risk, for example, depression, for example. We know that if you're a chronic insomniac, you have higher probability and risk to develop also in the following years some psychiatric disorders, and depression is probably on the top of the ranking. But other problems are emerging. We know that if you're chronic insomnia, you can have problems with, for example, hypertension, so cerebrovascular and cardiovascular consequences. You can have also a higher risk of diabetes type 2. You can have also a poor reaction for your immune system, and this is very important in this period in which the virus has called attention on what's happening also for our defense, our natural defense against any infective factor. So insomnia, and most of all, what is very attractive now is also that if you're sleep deprived or you're a chronic insomniac, you also have higher risk to develop, when you get older, dementia and Alzheimer's disease. So there's a chain of factors which are connecting the burden of insomnia, which was considered in the past something that was only a private problem that you had to tackle by, so you talk with your friend at having a beer or coffee at the pub, or when you're working with your friend or with your colleagues, I didn't sleep well. So it was only an anecdotal, confined to an anecdotal framework. Now we know that things are getting more serious. I don't want to, absolutely, I don't want to follow the catastrophic tendency to say, oh, we will die for insomnia. But anyway, I think that a modern doctor and a modern neurologist always should ask, besides the other physiological activities of a human being, also ask a few questions about sleep quality. If you sleep well, if you snore in the night, if you have apneas, if you move a lot during the night, if you walk when you're sleeping, if you're a sleepwalker, I would suggest, I would recommend, because this can give a more complete impression and vision of what is real health in a modern and updated version.